What's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? It's your old pal Shanksy, and welcome to my roster reviews, where we review yours. Well, maybe not yours, but somebody's roster that has asked for it, and we check out what they're farming, how they're looking at the moment, and what they're working towards, and see if there's anything I can do to help them out, give them any advice or anything like that, and hopefully help you guys out at the same time. Now, these are really good to see, A, where they stand, B, how much money they've spent, and C, compare that to your roster and see where you equate to as well in the grand scheme of the big old world of Marvel Strike Force. Now, if you are interested in getting your roster reviewed, there is a link down below to my Discord. All the information is in there. Unfortunately, I've had to add a small charge to the service because they do take quite a lot of time. So if you are interested, jump in the Discord and drop me a DM. I look forward to hearing from you. But without further ado, let's get into it. Yo, what is going on, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and today's roster, we are looking at Mr. FulpsyWulpsy himself. And this one's going to be a really interesting roster, right? So, Mr. FulpsyWulpsy has been playing for only 386 days. In that time, he has amounted a total collection power of 4.5 million, with his strongest team power being 363k. He's been War MVP a massive 51 times. He's part of the Gold 2 Alliance Smash. He's got 124 of the characters collected, 63 of them are max rank. All-time arena rank is rank 1, with his latest arena rank being rank 2, and he's had 7,208 blitz wins. But that type of progress does not come cheaply. In that 386 days, which is just a little over a year, he's spent around $15,000. So that type of progress certainly doesn't come cheap, but he's done it in a really, really short space of time. He's got a much, much higher roster than people that have been playing twice as long as him in some counts. So this is going to be super interesting getting into it. As always, the format for this is we're going to look through the roster, go through all the characters, then have a little look at the save squads and see if we can offer up any advice. Now, I know one of the things that he did say really early on is he's not taken a great deal of many people to gear tier 13 or 14 due to obviously the scarcity of orange resources at the moment and wanting to know a little bit clearer about Dark Dimension 3. And I feel like a lot of us are in this boat at the moment, right? Like, we're getting like, for example, I am out of orange gear. I've taken too many people to gear tier 13, and now taking anyone to gear tier 14 is going to be nigh on impossible. But we still don't know what this whole Dark Dimension 3 looks like. And if it is coming round quite soon, I don't know about you guys, but I would quite like a roadmap of how that looks like and what we are going to need for that so we can start working on it, right? It doesn't seem like a roadmap for me would be super, super awesome, right? And I'm sure it would be for a great deal, many of us. But without further ado, let's go through the roster, then we'll have a little look at the save squads and see what we can do. So coming in top of the shop, we've got Colossus, Mr. Fantastic, Shield Assault, Crystal, Karnak, Sabretooth, Quake, Mystique, Mr. Sinister, and Strife are all favorited. Now, obviously, Colossus being unfarmable, Strife being unfarmable, Karnak being unfarmable. You look like you've done really well on that Crystal offer, man. I literally, on that Crystal event, even after buying both the Crystal packs, I just managed to get her up to the 5th star. Like, just managed it. So you look like you've done really well during that event, dude. GG. Mr. Fantastic there at 5 red star as well. He's now farmable. Colossus not being farmable. Mystique is ready to go up to 7 stars as and when. Sabretooth is ready to go up to 7 stars as and when. Quake's already there. So I'm guessing a lot of these are favoured just for the gear and whatnot. Very similar to what I'm doing as well at the moment. Taking all of these guys up to gear tier 12, level 71, and then like moving on to another team at the moment. So exactly what I'm doing at the top of the shop. That is an absolutely massive a monstrosity. Like, that is a ridiculously big A monstrosity. I'd love to know how much he hits for. I'd love to see how much he hits for. I need a clip of him punching someone in the face, because he's got a really cool kill animation as well, right? We got Phoenix there, 77k. We got Rocket Raccoon, Star-Lord, Ultron, and these guys look like they're both tier 14, if I'm not mistaken. So you've done really, really well, and they're two characters that I would definitely always recommend taking up Gear Tier 14, regardless of what we know about Dark Dimension, right? Regardless of what's happening over there, your Phoenixes, your Ultrons, your Captain Marvels, they're going to be worth it no matter what. So then behind my big fat head, as you can see, we've got a 66k, nearly 67k Scientist Supreme. That must absolutely rock in Ultimate 7. Invisible Woman there at 66, Minerva at 65, Namor at 65, and then Captain America at 64. I'm not a massive fan of Captain America anymore. I feel like he's alright, you know, like he's alright. He's one of them characters. Like back in the day, used to be the best tank in the game, but I feel like he's dropped off a long way. But what do you guys think? You still yay or nay on Captain America? Like, I don't know. Captain Marvel there at 63k. 4 red stars, really nice. Might be worth taking her up to level 71 in all fairness, for that extra focus, for that extra resistance. And we all know in war defense, she's an absolute beast. The bigger you can get your Captain Marvel, teams get scared. They see that Captain Marvel, they're like, oh man. Like, that's one of them ones that you hold back on, right? You're like, oh yeah, I might be busy until one of my alliance mates can help me out. You got Juggernaut in there at 62k, Mags in there at 61, level 71 makes a lot of sense. Might be worth taking Jugs up to 71 as well. We know he's got a huge amount of resistance anyway, but always works, right? Then we go on the Human Torch, level 74. We're going all in on the Human Torch by the looks of things at 60k. AIM Researcher at 74 as well, Falcon at 75, Groot at 71, Coulson at 75, Fury at 74, Storm at 71. So yeah, for example, I think Captain Marvel going up to 71 over Human Torch makes a lot more sense in the long run. But I haven't got my Human Torch that high yet. So from Storm, then we go down to Black Bolt. Again, that's a 75 character for me all day long. All day long. And I feel like Black Bolt is also one of them characters that we don't need to worry about taking up to Gear Tier 14. It just felt like absolutely amazing, right? Thanos at 71, 55k. Daredevil at 55. Loki at 55. Shuri at 55. We've got Psylocke behind me at 53. AIM Security at 53. We've already seen a big AIM team are going to be coming up, right? A big AIM team. The Thing at 53k. Graviton at 53k. Yo-Yo at 52. Now, I'm also using a combination of Yo-Yo and Black Bolt in Ultimate 7 at the moment. They're a little bit riskier than Tech Wing, but they seem to be one-shotting a lot more nodes. You might have to pay a bit more attention, but they're a real solid team. So again, with Yo-Yo, I've taken my Yo-Yo up to Gear Tier 13, and I don't regret it for a heartbeat. She's so good, man. I feel like Yo-Yo is literally a little bit overpowered, and like people are sleeping on that whole like offense down on every turn, and like she's crazy, man. She's crazy. So yeah, like I think Yo-Yo is one of them characters you can quite easily take up. Shield Medic at level 74, 52k. Shield Security at 51. We got Iron Man there at 50k. Miss Marvel at 50k. Carnage at 49. Heimdall behind me at level 71, 49k. Vision at 48. War Machine at 48. Luke Cage at 48. And Thor at 47. Again, with levels, make a great deal of sense. Heimdall at level 71. We got Shield Security going all the way up to 75. Makes a great deal of sense for the old Coulson team. And that's pretty much it. I probably wouldn't have taken Medic up to 74. But again, with Coulson, I can see the reasoning behind it. Luke Cage at level 60 works out perfectly for me. 6 red stars on him as well, which is really, really nice. And then obviously Thor at level 71. Getting that extra resistance, getting that extra focus. I really, really like Thor at the moment. Like, a lot. So, in fact, the whole Asgardians, man, are like freaking phenomenal. I think they're one of my favourite teams. Rescue at 68, 46k. Mordo at 46. Ronan at 46. Sif at 46. Ella at 46. Again, level 71 for both the Asgardians. Nobu at level 70. That's a big Nobu, dude. That's a big Nobu, and I don't feel like Nobu really has a place. Like, he's got the hand event, and obviously he unlocks Phoenix. After that, do we really use him? I don't know. That's a lot of gold to take him up to 17. Scarlet Witch at 65, Mantis at 44k, Okoye at 43k, and Black Panther at 43k. So a decent Wakandan team in the making there as well. Drax at 43, Vulture at 42, Rhino at 42, all level 67s there for the Sinister Six. What was Carnage as well? Just going back, 68. So very, very, very close level-wise. By the looks of it, gear tier 11 or 12, I'm not sure. Hand Assassin there at level 70. That's a big Hand Assassin, dude, as well. That's a lot of gold going into that hand team that may be better spent elsewhere. Mysterio at level 67, Deadpool at 65, Spider-Man at 41, with Jessica Jones at 40, Doctor Strange at 40k, 5 red stars on him, waiting to go up to 7 stars as well, as is mine. I'm really liking the Supernatural team. I just need the Spider-Man milestone thing to come out so I can actually start spending some of this gold that I'm hoarding. How much gold, guys, have you got saved up at this point in time? I mean, I'm curious to know. I've got about 5.5 mil, right? But I've got 6 or 7 teams that I'm looking at every single day that I'm like, I just want to spend on. Stressing me out, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. Shocker at level 67, 39k. We've got Iron Fist at 39, Free Royal Guard at 38, Killmonger at 38, Ghost Rider at 38, Spider-Man 38, Pyro, Elsa at 35, Punisher at 34, and M'Baku at 34. Then we're getting down towards Crossbones, 34, Venom at 32, Kree Reaper at 31, Noble at 30, Korath at 27. And even these guys down here, 63, 66, 63, 65, 60. Gamora behind me at 65. That's a lot of gold going on to these guys. A lot of gold. Kree-Cyborg there at 26. Shield Trooper at 25. Wolverine only at 25. And Kingpin there at 24. Then we move down to Yondu at 24. Black Widow at 23. Hand Sentry at 23. Merc Riot Guard. America Chavez. Keep on getting that wrong all the time. I don't know why. Whatever. Don't judge me. Elektra there at 18.7. Kree Oracle at 17. Cable at 16. Merc Lieutenant 15. Ant-Man at 14. Ready to go up to 7 stars when applicable. And again, even down here, we've got high levels on Yondu 63. Black Widows at 64. Hand Sentry 62. Merc Riot Guards even at level 62. But then people that I like, for example, I wouldn't really expect to see Merc Riot Guard that high, but American Chavez might be worth it for the Brawlers team. Ant-Man, I'm not really a massive fan of. I do like him in combination with Wasp, but that's very sporadic. Black Widow, my Black Widow's in a very similar spot as well. Yondu, I feel like could do with a little bit more loving, you know. But again, Yondu type of gets left out without a team now. Now we're in the age of meta teams, right? We've got only X amount of save squads, and we've got a lot of meta teams that go very, very well together. Yondu type of no longer has a place, you know. It feels quite sad, man. Everyone put some F's in the comments for Yondu. Let's F's to pay respect to the Ravager. Dear oh dear oh dear. Wasp there at 12k. Hawkeye, Aim Assaulter, Shield Operative, Hand Sorceress, Winter Soldier, Nebula, Merc Sniper, Hydra Sniper, Bruiser, all the usual suspects getting down towards the bottom. Rifle Trooper, a really small Hulk there as well. Handblade, Master Aim, Infector, Hand Archer, Ravager Boomer, Bullseye, Merc Soldier, Night Nurse, Ultimus, Hydra Scientist, Stitcher, Hydra Armor Guard, and Grenada. Already 4 red stars on Cyclops for when he drops. Nice to see. So yeah, the bottom of everyone's roster seems pretty much the same, right? Now, I feel like a lot of these guys, especially the hand guys, have got a lot of levels in. There's a lot of gold that's gone towards them, where I might spend that more towards the X-Men or something like that. But I think once we get into having a little look at the save squads, might be able to form a clearer picture of what they're doing, where they're doing, and how they're doing it. So, let's have a little look, shall we? So, right, looking at this, top of the shop, the top team, I'm going to guess, and this is hazarding a guess, that this is a U7 team. Now, if it is, what I would probably recommend doing straight away is moving Minerva to where Falcon is and keeping Scientist Supreme and Minerva quite separate. So one, when they're eating splash damage and whatnot, he's not going to take them both out. You're in no danger of losing them both at one time, and that's probably going to help you out a little bit in U7. With Falcon, I like it a lot. Maybe a little bit too defensive for U7. You might be like finding yourself running shorter nodes quite a bit, you know, having a 2-shot, super safe without a shadow of a doubt, but might be finding it a little bit difficult. Someone like Black Bolt or Yo-Yo's really good in that spot as well. Someone with a little bit more offense capabilities might help out a little bit more. As I say, at the moment, I've actually taken out my Falcon and I'm running Scientist Supreme, Minerva, Ultron, Yo-Yo and Black Bolt. And our Black Bolt and Yo-Yo are actually similar powers. Now, they do take a lot more babysitting, but they're one-shotting a lot more nodes. Like, a lot more nodes. I'm basically one-shotting every node, apart from the boss nodes, up to 60%, which is pretty damn decent. Then we've got this behemoth of an AIM team, looking really, really good. I'm not a massive fan of Researcher. I actually use Researcher in my AIM team at the moment, but I'm not a massive fan of Researcher. And I know you've got a pretty decent red stars on Assaulter, and that might be a better option, especially for an offensive option, like Blitz and things like that. It's probably going to help out quite a lot. Fantastic Four, 301k. Absolutely beautiful. That's a really, really big Fantastic Four team. They're absolutely amazing in war at the moment. Used predominantly to deal with them pesky Asgardians that everyone seems to have. So at 300k, you're going to be able to take out a lot of different Asgardian setups. Up to probably about 320, 330k. They've got a good 10% punch up in them. So I really, really like that. And obviously, Namor is the guy in war. Outside of war, I find him a little bit lackluster, right? I find him a little bit lackluster. But inside of war, that's a really, really, really solid offensive team. Then we've got Coulson, obviously the defensive team. Looking really solid there. 57, 56, 52, 52, 51. And we know that Shield Security is also level 75. So he's going to take some getting through. I like that team a lot. Standard Guardians with Drax in there, Mantis, Groot, Rocket. They're solid layout. Depending on what you're using it for, you could always look at putting Thanos where Groot is, moving Groot over and getting rid of Mantis. All depends what you're using it for and if you are using Thanos anywhere else. Which I'm guessing the size of your Thanos, you probably are. So then moving down, we've got the X-Men. And I feel like Wolverine needs to be brought up a little bit here, man. A little bit. We've got 4 red stars on him. Depends if you're looking at dropping him for Cyclops. But to be fair, Cyclops actually now makes Wolverine pretty damn good. So Wolverine would be my first point of call if I were you. And trying to bring him up towards the rest of the team. Let's not go crazy on him, but let's try and take him up to like 65, 70, gear tier 11, something like that. You know, I feel like bringing him in line with the rest of the team is going to really, really help out. And then it gives you another option, maybe drop Psylocke for Cyclops, depending on what node you're trying to do, you know, depending on what game mode for. Bringing that Wolverine up will give you another option rather than guaranteed to drop him out. Because as I say, Cyclops is going to make Wolverine phenomenal. Then we go down to the Power Armor team at 254k. Again, one of my favourite war offense teams. Punches up against them BKT all day long for fun. Absolutely love the Power Armor team. Nothing wrong with that. Solid positioning as well. Then we go down to 245k on the Asgardians. Yep, solid. Again, that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. We've moved into the age of meta teams. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Like, I remember when the Defenders first come out and they really shared that first synergy. And we were all like, yeah, the Defenders are OP, right? Because they all synergize so well. And now it feels like if your team doesn't have synergy, it just doesn't work. You know, like even when we're in Blitz 8.3 and we see a team with no synergy, we know we've got that. We know we've got that. We're like, yeah, that'll do. because they just don't work. And it type of leaves a little bit to be desired when you're trying to create cool teams or fun teams, you know. But on the flip side of that, when you look at U7, a lot of the meta teams, a lot of the synergy teams don't work. You need your combination of like Minerva, Scientist Supreme, Ultron to form like its own little unit. So it's a weird state of the game. If you're with me, you know, it's a weird state of the game. So then we move down to we've got a type of a Brotherhood offshoot here. Now, personally, I would probably get rid of Sabretooth off this one. Put in Carnage. I really like Carnage with Venom, and then we can move Sabretooth off to the Marauders team with Mystique. I know your Mystique needs a little bit of work, but that would start their own team, and that's actually a really good war defense team as well. So then we move down, we've got the Inhumans, absolutely phenomenal team they are. That's a really big Karnak dude as well, man. Massively well played on that. 241k, very nice indeed. Then we've got Captain Marvel in the Brawlers team. And I'd be curious to know where you're using Captain Marvel in War at the moment. So what I've actually done is split my Brawlers team up. And I've made like a War Avengers team with Captain Marvel, and then I've made a Brawlers team, and they actually do, they both do fairly well in War. So yeah, I'm actually getting now 2 defensive teams out of this combination. Even though the Captain Marvel, the Miss Marvel passive is absolutely amazing, splitting the team up has actually worked for me really well. We then move down to Wakanda. 216k. Speaking of the Brawlers team as well, I'm really liking the Wakandans for a counter to the Brawlers with pretty decent success. So around the 200 to 250 mark is where you type of want your Wakandans. So Brawlers don't seem that much of a threat in War. 218k on the Defenders, probably wouldn't take them up any higher. I've had a soft spot for the Defenders for ages, but now with the new challenges that have just come out, and even my Defenders at Gear Tier 13, level 70 I believe they all are, they're just not doing it. They're just not doing it. They have been power crept out the game. So yeah, I wouldn't be worrying about putting any more in them. You know, maybe if you get really lucky and pull some more red stars on them, possibly. You know, that Daredevil would still tempt me. I ain't going to lie, it would tempt me. But I understand the reasoning for not doing so. Sinister 6 at 209k, really solid team. All beautifully leveled together as well. All around that 42k with Shocker at 39. Really nice there. Decent red stars on them all, 4 across the board with 3 on Shocker. 206k for the Supernatural. Now, this is a team that is probably my next team that I'm going to be working on. I feel they've got great options in War. And I know War is something that you were looking at. That is going to give you a lot of different, like, don't get me wrong, you know what you're doing in War anyway. You've got 50 odd bloody MVPs, man. But I feel like Supernatural is the next team for you to fully work on. Decent stars on them, you know, 5 there, 4, 4, 3, 3. Decent red stars on them, decent stars on them. They're well worth taking up. Again, to about the 250, 280k mark, something like that. They're a real solid team, man, like a real solid team. We've got the Kree there at 175k. I wouldn't really worry too much about them yet. There's no crazy red stars on them. Like, I'm thinking about working on my Kree team, mainly due to I've got crazy red stars on my Ronin. Other than that, they were a pretty flat team in my book. And then we've got a few teams down the bottom here, right, that I don't really know what they're for. They look like you're trying some stuff out in U7, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, we're using a lot of the same characters with Crystal, with Phoenix there as well. So, Phoenix is beautiful for that big damage for one node, but she's so frustrating to be able to have to bring her back. So, I don't know if maybe some of these are actually one-shot in boss nodes. I wouldn't be surprised if they are. They look really solid. As far as the teams go, I don't think we're actually using Thanos anywhere else, are we? So this looks like, as I say, the raid teams. I would probably look at moving away Mantis from that Guardians team then. You know, for Thanos and type of turning it towards BKT might actually do pretty well in Blitz and other game modes and whatnot. So yeah, I'm guessing, and this is really hazarding a guess, that these are different combinations of raid nodes for U7, and they look really, really solid. I would recommend, especially with Yo-Yo and Black Bolt, as I say, I've been using this for a bit myself now with pretty decent success. Try out Scientist Supreme, Yo-Yo, Ultron, Black Bolt, and then Minerva in that order, and they do an obscene amount of damage, like an obscene amount of damage. And yeah, with the power levels of your guys, that team will work out really, really well. Black Bolt for me is a guaranteed worthy of Gear Tier 13, Gear Tier 14 all day long, as is Yo-Yo. I know we don't know what Dark Dimension 3 looks like, and it's a super pain, but I feel like they're definitely well worth working on. So where would I start on this roster? If I was to take over this roster now, what would my main focus be? My main focus right away would be Wolverine. Would be bringing up Wolverine, making him up. Would just make a great deal of sense. Gives you a lot of options with the X-Men team. Like, as far as an offensive team go, in my book, the X-Men are the best offensive team with the Inhumans. They're just amazing. And now with Cyclops coming out, I feel like bringing up that Wolverine to give yourself another option, depending on who you're attacking in war, depending on what you need them for on the raid node, that type of thing. They're also a really good team to just throw in at U7 if you need a throwaway team with a lot of damage, and you know they're just going to be a one-shot done type thing. You know, like you might do half the node. Like I sometimes throw my X-Men at the second boss node just to wipe, but I'll clear like 7 or 8 of the guys on the second boss node and then attack with my normal team, and we're good as gold. So yeah, bringing up Wolverine will give yourself a little bit more options with that. I'd probably look at dropping Mantis out and putting in Thanos, because that's going to up your power of this team by about 10k. So that's more blitz points and everything like that. It's going to work out super well. You know, more blitz points, the easier the better. Lovely of the jubblies. Obviously in raid and whatnot, you still want to use this team. Fantastic Four's done. I wouldn't even look at Fantastic Four anymore. Shield, in my opinion, are done as well. This is an absolutely beautiful team. Maybe looking at replacing Researcher for Assaulter. That would actually work out really nice as well. Give it a little bit more offensive capabilities. However, I can only imagine how hard a Monstrosity hits. So that might be actually the better team in the long run to keep him alive for as long as bloody humanly possible. So yeah, my first point of call would be leveling up Wolverine. After that, on this particular roster, maybe breaking this team up, getting yourself a Marauders team set up with Mystique, Mr. Sinister. Where was the Mr. Sinister? How big was he? Let's have a little look back. So 18k. Yeah, he's not quite ready for his team yet. So that could be, yeah, that could be the second point of call. And again, for war, he's a really, really solid defense room. You can put him with Mr. Sinister, Sabretooth, Mystique, Strife, and I've seen even Ultron go with him for a defense team. If not Ultron, you can put in either any mutant really. You know, like Deadpool would actually work out quite nicely. Then you could free up a brawler, put a different brawler on the case. So that could be a really nice war team there. Then having the Brotherhood with like Magneto, Pyro, Venom, Carnage, and Jugs as an offensive team would work out really, really nicely. So that would be my second point of call, and my third point of call would be taking this Supernatural team up. Really, 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 really worth the investment. Like, I love the Supernatural team at the moment. Now, with these combinations, depending on how hard you're blitzing, you could probably get away with dropping 1 or 2 of these and having like 2 Ultimate 7 teams set up and then the rest for blitz or something like that. But yeah, other than that, really, really solid roster. For blitz, try and make the use of all your roster as well. You know, there's a lot of people in here that I'm not seeing in teams, so trying to make the most use for your roster to maximize your blitz results would be absolutely beautiful if you're blitzing that hard. You know, especially for ones that you're blitzing that hard, just makes it a little bit easier having as many teams set up as humanly possible. But that's pretty much it, man. Really, really solid, really strong roster. I might be a little bit more selective of where I spend my gold at this point in time. You know, there's probably a couple of people that I wouldn't have taken as high as you have done. So try and be a little bit more selective with where you're spending your gold, and then moving the right people to a higher level. You know, so like, where were we? Who was I looking at? So like Captain Marvel, for example, moving up to 71, Jugs to 71. Captain Marvel, like, even justifies 75, you know, like at the moment, mine's 70 at the moment still. But I'm the second these milestone things come up to spend gold, my Captain Marvel's going up straight away. So, right, that is it for me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's helped. And FulpsyWulpsy, thank you for reaching out for the roster review, man. Guys and girls at home watching this, what would you do if you took over this roster right now? Where would your main focus be? What would you be looking at? Would you be on the same track as me, or did you see something there that you would think, whoa, that's well worth working on? Let me know down below. Both myself and FulpsyWulpsy look forward to reading it. And until next time, boys and girls, you know the drill. Links are all down below if you want to get in touch with me. Find me over on my Twitch page, www.twitch.tv/ShanksyHopsy over there. Discord links down below, Twitter links, all the socials, yada, yada, yada. Love your faces. Have yourself a great day. And I'll see you on the flip side. Just take it easy.